The top stories tonight in Y News. Several lawmakers vow to inquire the proposed travel funds of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., as well as the controversial confidential and intelligence funds of some agencies. Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. reveals that he has an intelligence report that the government will allegedly designate his children and some friends as terrorists. The Department of Agriculture notes that the government is prohibited to import rice unless shortage of supply occurs in the country. And North Korea criticizes the United States for aiding Taiwan, a weapons package insinuating another ignition point of war. Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, the 4th of August, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am William Theo. First in the news, Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. revealed that he received information that the government will also declare some individuals connected to him as terrorists. Dante Amento tells us why.
Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnie Teves said he has an intelligence report. The government, through the Anti-Terrorism Council, will allegedly designate his children and some friends as terrorists.
Next week daw, na papangalanan nila yung iba kong kasamahan, mga kaibigan, pati mga anak ko, isasama nila sa terror group.
But Teves Jr. challenged the government whether they will include in the designation his friend, who is a known politician and partner in business.
Sige nga, kung isasama nyo yung mga anak ko, tingnan natin kung kaya nyo isama si Albi Benitez sa terror group. Tingnan natin kung fair kayo na pagkatao.
Meanwhile, Teves Jr. confirmed that a few of his and his brother's assets, former Negros Oriental Governor Pride Henry Teves, are already frozen. The legislator is currently planning to appeal the terrorist designation, which allegedly has no legal basis.
Na-freeze na daw yung mga assets niya or bangko niya. Ako rin, merong konti na na-freeze. So, syempre, kawawa. Kawawa yung mga bata, kawawa yung pamilya.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the Manila International Airport Authority, or MIAA, assured preparedness in emergency response during plane crashes. The management also coordinates with other agencies for a collaborative approach to a possible incident. JP Nunez will tell us why.
A simulated scenario of a plane crash was conducted today, August 4, at the General Aviation Area of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, or NAIA. It was part of the Manila International Airport Authority's Crash and Rescue Exercises, or CREX, which is conducted every other year. The MIAA management simulated an actual scenario of a plane crash with a role-playing victims and a mock-up passenger plane. According to MIAA, Officer in Charge General Manager Brian Ko, the exercises was able to help them assess their coordination with other agencies in terms of emergency response on plane crash incident.
By conducting these full-scale exercises, we can test the coordination and communication between different agencies, assess the efficiency of our emergency systems and equipment, and evaluate the skills and preparedness of our responders.
During the exercises, choppers from the Philippine Coast Guard and Philippine Air Force served as medical evacuation or medevac. Ambulances from nearby hospitals also participated in the scenario with other law enforcement agencies. According to General Manager Ko, with the help of other agency, they ensure safety of passengers in the airport when a possible plane crash incident happens.
I think the exercises prove that, of course, the airport is ready. Talagang maayos ang ating coordination with different agencies kasi we do have first responders that are MIA, but those are not enough.
It was in August 2018 when passenger plane Shaman Air Flight 8667 skidded off the runway of NAIA while attempting to land in a poor weather condition. And since flights at NAIA continue to increase, the management emphasized the need for preparedness in emergency response. According to MIAA, the effect of the plane crash to the flight schedule would depend on the severity of the incident and the place where the airplane crashed.
Depending again on the situation, kung talagang nasa runway siya, it will close for an extended amount of time until such time we extract the aircraft. And in that event, madadivert ang mga aircraft kung walang secondary runway.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The investigation by the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, into the crash of the training aircraft in Apayao last Tuesday has now progressed. Currently, the authorities are still puzzling over the case, over the cause of the said plane crash. Alan Manansala tells us why.
The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, is conducting a thorough investigation into the recent air accident that occurred last Tuesday, August 1. A training aircraft of Eco Air International Aviation Academy Incorporated crashed in Sitio Matat, Barangay Salvacion, Luna, Apayao. The plane, a Cessna 152 with registration number RP-C8598, was operated by pilot Captain Edsel Jan Lumbao Tabuzo with a 20-year-old Indian national student named Anshum Rakumar Conde on board. According to CAAP spokesperson Eric Apolonio, Eco Air's planes undergo regular inspections, including thorough checks of documents and complete communication equipment before being allowed to fly. The reason for the plane crash remains uncertain, adding to the puzzlement surrounding the incident.
Unang-una, maraming titingnan factor yan na what causes the crash. Yung kanilang service record, yung mga piloto, yung weather, tsaka yung makukuha ang evidence sa crash site.
Yesterday, the bodies of Captain Tabuzo and Conde were recovered and immediately taken to the Amahadsak District Hospital in Poblacion, Pudtol, Apayao. Based on accounts from the Pudtol Municipal Police Station, one of the rescue groups searching for the crashed plane, some residents in the barangay heard a loud noise in the sky that led to the discovery of its location.
Pagkasabi nung witness, sir, after one day, sir, namin na-locate. Kasi hapon na nung sinabi nung witness yung parang information niya, sir. Doon mismo rin sa may plane, sir, yung mga... Hindi, sir, hindi. Magkatabi sila, sir.
The black box of the Cessna plane was also recovered at the crash site. Today, Captain Tabuzo's remains is scheduled to be airlifted to Villamor Air Base and then taken to his home in San Juan City. Eco Air is currently waiting for an authorization letter from Conde's family to allow the Cessna company to send Anshum body to India. Due to the Cessna 152 crash, this incident marks the 5th air accident involving small aircraft in the Philippines this year. Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture noted that there is still enough supply of rice in the country for a month. But Agriculture Undersecretary Mercedita Sombilia is urging the importers to bring the volume of rice already given with import clearance that is amounting to 815,000 metric tons. It should be delivered in the country before the end of September. The official said that the government is prohibited to import rice under the rice tariffication law, but a provision is allowed if there is already a rice supply shortage.
There is already about 815,000 metric tons cleared SPSIC. na hindi pa dumadating. That's only 50%. That's only 50% of the total application. So sana maiparating yon.
And for the news abroad, the United States receives criticism from North Korea after they aid Taiwan a weapons package, insinuating another ignition point of war. From Australia, Mariela Toza will give us details live. Yes, Marielle, good evening.
Good evening, Marvi. The United States announced on Friday, August 4, their $345 million weapons aid package for Taiwan, a plan that was not well received by Chinese and North Korean representatives. Director General of Chinese Affairs Department Foreign Ministry for North Korean Meng Yong-rim deemed the package as a sinister intention of the United States as a strategy to deter China. The statement from North Korea added that the package, a political and military provocation to the core interests of China, will result in the United States having to pay a high price. China still considers Taiwan as their own territory, but Taiwan remains to reject the sovereignty of China, claiming that the only the Taiwanese people are responsible for their future. Meanwhile, an official from China and North Korea's President Kim Jong-un met recently, vowing to commit to the two countries developing new high relationship. Back to you, Marvi.
Thank you, Mariela Toza, reporting live from Australia. United States officials expressed concern after 2 U.S. Navy sailors were arrested on charges of providing sensitive information to China. From Vietnam, Jane Robles will give us the details live. Good evening, Jane.
Good evening, Marvi. At a press conference earlier today, August 4, United States federal officials have expressed their concern and condemnation about China's espionage campaign. This comes after 2 California-based U.S. Navy sailors were arrested and accused of providing intelligence to China. According to authorities, Jin Chao Wei, a 22-year-old U.S. Navy sailor, was arrested on Wednesday with charges on conspiring to send national defense information to Chinese officials in exchange for thousands of dollars. Wei has been sending U.S. military information, including technical manuals of USS Essex, an amphibious assault ship. Wen Hengzhao, a 26-year-old petty officer based north of San Diego, was also charged with conspiracy and taking bribes from Chinese intelligence in exchange for photographs and videos of sensitive Navy facilities. According to Assistant Attorney General Matt Olson, due to the two men's action, sensitive military data ended up in the hands of China. In response, U.S. Attorney Randy Grossman says the U.S. will use every tool to counter China and those that threaten their national security. Meanwhile, it is unclear if federal officials were investigating other U.S. sailors. Back to you, Marvi.
All right, thank you for that live report, Jane Robles. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Thank you, Marvi. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG Manila, is set to issue a memorandum. It would direct all barangays in the city to conduct a rapid inspection of electric posts and even dangling wires to determine whether low risk or high risk. The move is after the incident of Meralco poles or electric posts that collapsed in Binondo, Manila yesterday. The barangays will submit their reports immediately to the Bureau of Fire Protection and City Engineering Office.
Ang report na ito ay didirect sa ating Bureau of Fire Protection by Monday kasama ng ating engineering. ang atin pong Bureau of Fire na at saka Engineering nakikilos dyan. Sige. We simply facilitate kung ano dapat natin gawin para magkaroon ng involvement ang ating barangay.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, and the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DHSUD, plan to build a temporary shelter for homeless families. In relation to this, DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian and DHSUD Secretary Jose Rizanino Acuzar already talked for the housing program to be laid out. Temporary shelters will be used while processing the return of families to their provinces is still being conducted. This is part of the shelter assistance program included in the Oplan Pag-abot project of the DSWD. Currently, there are 38 families or 224 individuals under the said program. In other news, the inflation rate for the month of July further slowed down to 4.7 according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. Meanwhile, an economist said that the impact of calamities that hit the country in the past months might affect the forecast of the inflation rate. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, reported that the inflation rate for the month of July further drops to 4.7%.
We are seeing a reduction in inflation, that's a fact, since January.
PSA Undersecretary and National Statistician Dennis Maca said this is lower than the 5.4% inflation rate last June. He added that the main contributors of the deceleration for July inflation were housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuel, while rice and vegetables are recorded with higher inflation.
Yung rice inflation overall ay 4.2% noong July versus this is 3.6% noong June. Pwedeng ito yung magiging source ng future inflation natin.
Meanwhile, economist Ser Pedreira said that the effects of calamities might affect the forecast of inflation in the coming months.
Of course, no, merong impacts on really on the supply side, on our capacity to produce goods and services. And we have to be prepared for. Now, if we go back to the SONA, there were things mentioned there that the government is actually preparing for these things. Okay, disaster preparedness and El Nino.
The National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, assures that they plan to prevent the possible spike of inflation. Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
As the budget season approaches, several lawmakers vow to inquire the proposed travel funds of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., as well as the controversial confidential and intelligence funds of some agencies. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
Senator J.V. Ejercito says he will scrutinize the proposed travel funds of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. once it reached the Senate in the budget deliberations. The Office of the President proposes 1.4 billion pesos to fund the President's local and foreign missions and state visits next year. This was higher than the 893 million peso travel fund of the President for this year. While there are benefits in the President's official travels, especially in attracting foreign investors, for Ejercito, other needs of the country should also be considered in the allotment of budgets.
While the president is marketing the country, tingin ko mas marami rin tayong kailangan ayusin dito. Airports, yung infra natin, yung power natin, kasi ito yung mga titingnan ng foreign investors eh. Yung mga Intel fund or even itong travels that are kung talagang unnecessary anymore. So of course, kung mai-align po natin sa mga major national projects, lalo na infrastructure, no?
For Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva, the President's working visits are important, saying that he is the most effective agent to market the country. But he notes that the Senate has the responsibility to scrutinize the national budget.
I sincerely believe that it is important. Whether or not ito ay kulang o sobra, dapat tingnan talaga yan, no? Yung lahat ng sobra masama eh.
Ejército also wants to look into the proposed confidential and intelligence funds, or CIF, of various agencies, including the Department of Education and the new 50 billion pesos in confidential funds for the Department of Agriculture. Over 10 billion pesos of CIF is being proposed under the 2024 National Expenditure Program, which is 120 million pesos higher than the allotment this year. The Department of Budget and Management earlier said this is because of the additional funds allotted for the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, the Anti-Money Laundering Council, and the Presidential Security Group.
It's a DICT. If it will be used for anti-fraud, cybercrime, I think that's justifiable. Doon sa ibang agencies, tatanungin muna natin kung saan nila gagamitin. Why do they need intelligence fund? No? But parang nauso na. Bakit lahat biglang humihingi na ng intelligence fund?
Both chambers of Congress are expected to begin its budget deliberations this month. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The result of the Philippine Coast Guard's investigation against their personnel stationed in Pritil, Binangonan, Rizal during the capsizing of Motorbangka last July 27 is expected to be released this week. PCG and the Philippine National Police, or PNP, conduct a parallel investigation to fill relevant charges. The PNP filed a case of multiple homicides, multiple physical injuries, and negligence against the boat owner, operator, and PCG personnel last July 29. PCG also filed syndicated estafa on Wednesday against the boat owner, operator, and officers of Talim Island Motorboat and Patrons Association, or TIMOPA. If the PCG personnel involved is proven guilty, he will be dismissed from service.
Kasi medyo mabigat nga yung offense. Buti sana kung simple offense lang to, medyo mabigat eh. Kaya medyo tumatagal na ng konti yung the usual na period. Pero still, we will make the results available immediately. Just to promote transparency, kasi kung kami baka magkaroon ng kasi taon namin ito lang maganda ibang unit din involved, which is part ng SOP namin when investigating our personnel. And then of course yung decision will not come from me. I have to make dadapa namin sa through channels.
And in other global news, United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends Beyfortus, marketed by Sanofi and AstraZeneca, to protect children against a lung-attacking virus. Maven Carizo tells us why.
Advisory Panel of United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, recommends on Thursday, August 3, that Sanofi and AstraZeneca can prevent respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, in infants and toddlers. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, or ACIP, recommended the new antibody shot to be added to the CDC's childhood immunization schedule after Director Dr. Mandy Cohen signed off the recommendation. The committee approved that all infants under 8 months old should get the injection and recommended children up to 19 months get a second dose if vulnerable to severe RSV disease through their second RSV season. Executive Vice President for Vaccines at Sanofi said that this serves as critical steps towards providing millions of parents in the U.S. the ability to protect their babies as the most vulnerable population against the threat of RSV. Nirsevimab, marketed under the trade name Beyfortus, is expected to be a powerful tool and it will be available in the U.S. for the upcoming 2023-2024 RSV season to protect children against a lung-attacking virus. Maven Carizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
As Brazil prepares to host a summit to gather leaders of Amazonian countries to discuss ways to protect the world's largest rainforest, the government released preliminary figures showing a 66% drop in rainforest clearance. This is the lowest level for the month of July since 2017, a reduction praised by environmental experts, following Bolsonaro's 3-year tenure, which saw the average deforestation levels of the Amazon shooting up to 75% compared to the previous decade. However, calls for continued vigilance remain as the peak season for fires approaches. Meanwhile, Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva stated that the summit aims to create a common protection policy for the region, which will mandate border security, as well as seeking the assistance of private businesses for the reforestation of 30 million hectares of degraded land. The summit is also in response to the European Union's latest demands for the 4 Mercosur countries, namely Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay, to combat environmental crimes. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Marvi Delphine, live from Perth, Australia. Good evening.
In celebration of Wish 1075's 9 years of music and charity, the FM station brings a unique blend of short film and live music in the upcoming event entitled Solstice. Gladys Tuabi reports.
True love or obligation. With every choice you make, a new season in your life dawns. But how far will you go for the sake of people you hold dear?
A story of sacrifice. This will be witnessed by wishers in the 8th installment of the Wish Day concert series entitled Solstice. The event stars Enzo Pineda, Junjun Quintana, and actress and GMK host Ira Mariano. Ira's performance promises a roller coaster ride of emotions in this short film.
Si Annabelle, siya yung tao na nabubuhay. She lives to savor each moment para sa memories, and sinisavor niya yung bawat opportunity na nakakasama niya yung mga mahal niya sa buhay.
And what sets this Wish Day concert apart is the conclusion of live musical performances with Peniel.
No one hears, won't sing to the tune.
Jason Fernandez. Adi. Aegis. And Augie Alcacid.
Sa lahat ng mga wishers, yung concert na gaganapin sa August 7, sobrang pinaghandaan to hanggang sa pinakamaliit na detalye. Kasi yung experience nito iba to sa the usual na concert, alam mo yun, na magpa-perform lang yung artist. Ito parang may story driven siya. So mas mafe-feel nyo yung emotion sa mga songs kasi connected siya sa mga stories. So, ma-enjoy nyo yan, lalo na yung may mga pinagdadaanan sa mga buhay pag-ibig nila.
I think what I would expect of like the music curated for this story is exactly what you expect out of like a kind of emotional and heartbreaking storyline. They're just songs that are filled with so much sentiment and all the angles of love that makes things like extra heartbreaking or gut-punching.
Wish Day Solstice is one of the FM station's most unique anniversary celebrations today. The event will take place on August 7, Monday at the Mall of Asia Arena. Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of Proverbs chapter 21, verse 13. It says, "Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard." And those are the reasons behind the news, August 4, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.